Hello, it's Crypto CJ. It's the trade of the day, the Monday night Zoom edition. And well, we don't have the 15% move in Bitcoin that we had last week at this time. So that's unfortunate. Mostly kind of going down and sideways. We've recovered most of the losses though. Let's take a look at the Bitcoin chart. Okay, you guys should be seeing my Bitcoin day chart.
Yes.
All right, good. And then down here, it's just showing that we've lost $20 since the beginning of UTC time. So that just changed. So anyway, it's just the market's struggling to hold 38,000 for Bitcoin at the moment. I was hoping we'd punch over 40 today and get a move back on, but you know, the information I'm getting looks like that might be delayed till, you know, towards the middle of the month. And so for now, you know, I drew this trading range with the yellow lines. Is the top and the bottom, and it's still trading in that range. I've got the support line here around 36, 36.5, hasn't dropped that much yet, at least not since you know, since last week. So it's kind of hanging around, putzing sideways, not doing much, which is annoying for us day traders because we want more movement. We like that volatility.
Mhm.
All right, news wise, there was something I was looking at that looked moderately interesting. Oh yeah, this one here. Biden's talking about signing an executive order on crypto this week. But the article sort of contradicts the headline. It really talks more about what some of the agencies in the US are doing, what they're proposing. So it might just be an order about a future order. Don't know if this was enough to move the markets. The market didn't move that much today. So, you know, they're probably reading it the same way I do, that
CJ, was that probably on Slack, that article?
could have been. I just
Yeah.
pulled it off TradingView. They have headlines over here. This is the news button here on your right, the third button down. So I look at that sometimes when I'm on the show, and so it's easy for people to see. I did look at the Slack group briefly. Nothing really caught my eye, but I just skimmed it real quick. And
yeah, I just haven't been on it the last couple of days.
Okay.
That's the Altcoin Alert Slack group you're talking about.
Correct. All right. Any questions or comments on Bitcoin? Yeah, let's look at I just brought over the 4 hour. Man, I really thought we were going to pump after we hit 45 a few days ago, but no, we're down 15-16% since then. Bummer. All right, Ethereum. It's pretty similar, though it dropped below my trend line of 2560. It's just hanging around 2,500 at the moment. I could see it bounce back and work its way towards 3,000, but they'll probably need some assistance from Bitcoin to accomplish that. Let's see, my next trend line is down here at around 2,400. Hopefully it won't make it there, or if it does, it bounces back quickly. All right, any questions on Bitcoin or Ethereum before we go over to Altcoin Alert? All right, can we find a trade on Altcoin Alert? I've been looking and I saw a few promising things earlier. Going to reload here to make sure it's up to date. Sort by AA score. And I've got it on the Altcoin Radar with the easy mode off. This is, I think, is the most complete layout for those of you who are new to my show. I think it defaults to dashboard and easy mode. I don't care for this. I want all the information. So there we are. And the only very bullish score we have is injective protocol, INJ. And again, the AA score is essentially saying there's an 81.9% chance that this coin will go up 3% in the next 48 to 72 hours, might be closer to 72 given this market. So we're going to look at this in and of itself. We don't really care about the other columns of information. So don't be surprised if it looks contradictory. The AA score is trying to predict the future. This one's already been beaten down based on this information here. So let's check it out. See if we can get a dip trade. Look at the big picture, the day charts. It's been trending down pretty hard since its high in November. It did pump up briefly in February up to $10. Now it's hanging, it's lost about half that value, around 520. The 1 hour. Yeah, it hit the 660 a few days ago. Down 20%. So on the 5-minute, what do we do now? It's trending up a little bit and hanging around the SMA line on the 5-minute chart. One of my least favorite places to enter. The MFI is below 20, starting to peak up. RSI is not below 30 yet. We're not in a dip sequence. Only 3% between the Bollinger Bands, not that great. So what do? We have a couple options. We can set a price alert for a better entry. It did make a nice bounce off the bottom of the Bollinger Band here earlier this afternoon. 3% move. We like that as day traders. So that might be a good spot to put a price alert at 515. Set your alert there. Call it whatever you want, create, and reevaluate when it hits that. It's going to be a little more sophisticated. I like to use the indicators for alerts on the 15-minute chart. So if I'm looking for a dip sequence, my favorite to find that is an RSI alert. And I want it to go oversold, which is considered a 30 value, and trending up from that. So to accomplish that alert, I'm going to do a crossing up 30. I usually use once per bar close, so I make sure it completes the action. And then call it, maybe RSI alert, something like that, and be good to go. So what happens there is like what we saw here. It's going to dip below the 30 and then come back up. So it's trending back up after the dip, and then that's when we get in. So had we done that, this afternoon on this dip here, we would have caught this. Yeah, I just showed you this 3% move. So you can do the same thing on the MFI, the money factor or money flow index, or money flow indicator. I always get them messed up. 20 and above, dip below 20 and then come back up. That's another one we like. And then we also like divergence here. That's when we have a disagreement between the price action and the indicators. So on this indicator, you can get all these on TradingView. This is the indicator button on TradingView. MFI, money flow index, that's what it is. RSI, these are the ones I just showed you. And then divergence. Divergence from any indicators, version 4. This is the most recent. So 10,000, almost 11,000 people have downloaded this. They like it too. So, and it has a predictive quality to it. The longer the time frame, the better. As a day trader, 15 minutes to 30 minutes are the ones I use the most. So on this one, I might put an alert here on the divergence. Positive divergence is detected once per bar close. And maybe call it divergence alert, something like that. And so once you get down here, this thing pops up. You might want to maybe set a secondary alert for the candle action going up and then get in there. That way you'll get better entries with your Altcoin Alert, Altcoin Alert alerts. had we done that one, you know, at 8:15 last night, you know, nice 3% move. So good stuff there. All right, well, let's say you don't want to dip trade. Let's say you just want to catch the next trend. I've been talking about the Chandelier Exit indicator. Let's see if I have that one handy. Yeah, here we go. It's on a different layout. So, and it just gives you buy and sell signals. I usually want to match them up with the RSI and the MFI. So if you wanted to buy this, it's in the sell sequence now. Doesn't really matter which one you click on. Add an alert on the Chandelier Exit. CE buy once per bar close. You know, call it trend or chandelier or something like that, and you're off. Wait till that triggers. Some of these indicators I'm testing, but the ones you've seen before are the MFI down here, the RSI here. So let's say if I get a buy and those two are in agreement, that I might pull the trigger and get in on that one. I do a lot of leverage trading, so I also use this for shorting on the sell side. So, and if you want to download this one, you know, type in Chandelier and there it is. There are a lot of trend-based indicators. The two I'm testing are the TDFI, which is the trend dominance, something like that, and STC, the shaft trend. And this AO here is the awesome oscillator. I just like the name, so I threw it in. And then trend strength kind of speaks for itself. So these are some of the ones I'm testing, more for alerts and entry points than confirmation. But I use the MFI and the RSI for confirmation on those trend alerts. Well, I just dumped a bunch of stuff on you. So, but a lot of it is review. So any questions on anything I've gone over with this potential INJ trade? All right.
DJ, I've got a question.
Sure.
Do you think having more indicators and different indicators actually makes any real difference to finding good entry points?
I sure hope so, because I've spent hours and hours and hours researching this. But I don't really, I can't give a definitive answer for that. It has helped me in my scalping. I'm doing some different things here. But I'm not really ready to go over it yet, so I probably shouldn't even show it. But
So you are getting some entries that you wouldn't get by just using the RSI and money flow factor.
Yeah, I think that the trend-based stuff, especially, you know, the money flow and the RSI are going to get you, you know, breaks below the Bollinger Band. Like, well, let's look at like Ethereum. Let's say on the 15-minute chart here. So, you know, we talked about the, you know, the alerts down here on the long side. If you want to go short, you know, you just do the opposite. You do, you know, a 70 and maybe an 80 on the MFI or the 70 on the RSI. And so those are going to be bigger movements, but there are little movements in between that we can scalp if you want to be a true day trader and you know, make 10 plus trades a day like I do. Not everybody wants to do that. So that's why I show a variety of options depending on what your schedule is and how much time you can really spend doing this. The trend-based stuff might be easier for those who don't have as much time. And the bigger movements as well, using the MFI and the RSI. So I didn't really give you a straight answer to your question, Craig, but yeah, anything, I do think it's better than this I can say, it's better than just jumping in when an altcoin alert goes off on Slack on your yeah, that's kind of random. I've talked before. I did that earlier when I first got the program, and it worked for a while when the market was pumping. But when it started going, ranging, then it didn't work anymore. That's why I decided to apply technical analysis and get better entries. And I think overall it's been better than just kind of winging it off those alerts. So.
Yeah, I agree with you that you need to look at the charts and you do need to use some indicators, but I just wonder if you're possibly, well, I find you're using too many, and I find it very confusing.
Well, I respect your opinion, and you're probably right. And I am, like, this chart here is the one I use the most with you guys because it's only got a few things on it. MFI, RSI, MACD. These are RSI and MACD, the first ones I learned. I add the MFI when I started learning about the bot program we're going to talk about later. I added divergence when Terry and Alan from the CryptNation group talked about that a lot. So
yeah, I do quite like that divergence.
Yeah.
One.
And then this Vidya, also from Terry. Yeah, I guess I am creeping up on more and more stuff on my basic chart. So, but regarding this trend one that I showed you earlier, it's my intention to cut some of this down, to throw some of these out. I think some of these are overlapping and repetitious. So I would agree with you on that, Craig, is that there's too much stuff on this one. So I'm still working it to figure out which works the best.
Well, you
I
would think that
sometimes
some
think that,
groups, go ahead, Greg.
sometimes I think that certain indicators work best in some markets, and then the market changes and another one will work better.
Yep.
Um,
Yeah, that's probably
Yeah.
true. Actually,
You would think that there'd be some group out there in Switzerland or Asia someplace that's already studied all of these indicators, and they're willing to sell you their $10 report as to which ones you should use.
yeah. People sell indicators too. A lot of crypto traders, they make their own. I mean, and a lot of them make their own and give them away for free on TradingView. That's a lot of what I've got. And I've paid for a couple too that didn't seem to be any better than what was free on TradingView, and that was frustrating. So
CJ's going to be selling us our indicators. He's going to be posting up there pretty soon.
yeah, that's it. So if I find something that good, yeah, I don't know if I'd sell it or not, but
Yeah, CJ indicators instead of Amway indicators.
There you go.
I am guilty of marketing from time to time, so yeah, we'll see. But I'm not quite presumptuous enough to sell the CJ indicator yet. It's got to have a long history of success. So I think we're pretty far from that. Okay, well, that was a nice divergence from the from the topic at hand. See, where were we? Okay, so that was INJ on Altcoin Alert. And that's really the only very bullish one we have to look at. So since we're running a little over, let's refresh, and we'll go to the long-term sentiment sort. Okay, this one, long-term sentiment is just hover over the question mark next to it if you want to learn what it is. But it's the word on the street, the Twitter information compared to the last 24 hours over the last 20 days. And we've got, and I'm looking for confirmation on both this and the Elder Impulse Daily, which is a technical indicator Bryce uses and talks a lot about in CryptNation, based on moving averages and MACD and that kind of thing. So if I find a very bullish or bullish, then that's something I want to look at. And so we've got that here on waves. And it was like this morning. I added this to my alerts, and I was just too late to do that because here I am in the 15-minute, and it's just gone, pretty much straight up. As far as divergence goes, we just got bearish divergence, but that's that may or may not hold. So let's look at the day chart. I cannot figure out why this thing's pumping. I looked, couldn't find any news, but this is up, you know, 170% in the last 2 weeks. It's an older platform too. So does anybody know anything about waves?
Wish I did.
Yeah, I don't know where this came from. Yeah, 40% in 2 days. So might be played out already. 5-minute chart. Well, it's sitting top of the Bollinger Band on the 5-minute, not really good entry point. Could wait for it to dip a little bit and then keep riding it. It's a little risky in my eyes, but you could put a price alert essentially down here in the bottom of the Bollinger Band, $20.80. That could be a good entry. On the 15-minute chart, you could go with your divergence alert. These are way up on the MFI and the RSI, so I don't know if they're going to dip down and come back anytime soon. So with that in mind, I might be more inclined to try a trend alert. Let's see, we're looking at INJ waves. And just catch the next buy signal on the 15-minute chart. Right click on here on the Chandelier Alert, and you're good to go. So those are your options in my eyes for better entries on waves. Any questions on that? All right, I'll look at one more. Let's see, Altcoin Alert. Let's short something. Yeah, that's always fun. Some of you guys trade leverage. So sort by the long-term sentiment and go for bearish. And Raven here is looking real bearish all the way across here. But it does have a bullish AA score. It's only 60, so that's not real convincing to me. ENJ also bearish all the way across. You know, Doge, I shorted that, I think Saturday, and it went into, you know, I made a nice profit on that today. So when I have a lot of options, I usually just choose the crappiest one, the crustiest, oldest one that's not very useful. So, so Doge is one of my favorites to short, SHIB, and you know, some of those poop coins. EOS doesn't really do much, so that would be another candidate to short. Sometimes it just doesn't move though. That's no good. You want it to drop. Problem with shorting Doge is it's really beaten down already. It's you know, below 12 cents. Let's check it out anyway. So again, you shouldn't trade on leverage until you're an experienced, you know, spot trader and had some consistent success with that, ideally. Or if you're familiar with you know, leverage platforms, go in small, add to your position as you see fit. But so let's go day chart. Trending down pretty hard, but have we hit the bottom? Don't know. 1 hour chart. Yeah. This is a 50-day moving average. It's well below that. So that would tell us that the trend is down. Not that hard to see. The 5-minute, super squeezy. Yeah, only 2.2% between the Bollinger Bands, so that could do anything. And our indicators are right in the middle here on the 5-minute. So let's go to the 15. Well, on a price alert, we've got resistance here. Resistance is a good place to buy a short. So you could do a price alert at around, yeah, my short was think I got it at 12:12 on Saturday. Yeah, better entry would have been right about here, 12:16 to 12:20. So you can put your alert there on a 15-minute. We look for bearish divergence on that that indicator. That's right there. And on the MFI, we've got it. It's pushed through 80 once. That was about an hour ago. Looks like it wants to again. So that might be a good alert to set. We'll be crossing down 80 once per bar close, and short alert, something like that. And there you go. And you do the same thing on the RSI. Like here's an example here where it went above the 70 and then dropped right on, bearish divergence signaled on the next candle. Some pretty good confirmations, and sure enough, it dropped, over 6%. That's a great day trade, especially on leverage. Figure you'd be at, 5x, 10x leverage, something like that. Yeah, that would make your day. So any questions on shorting Doge? Oh, you could also go over to here to the trend, and it's already in a sell on the 15-minute chart. We've missed that move pretty much. So what I would be hoping for is I would set another alert on the sell, like this. And then I would want to look for for it to go up to buy briefly and then sell again, and then get in on that. All right. That's about all I have for Altcoin Alert. Any questions on that before I move over to iCoinPro? All right. Let's go to iCoinPro and let's check the fear and greed index really quick. We're at extreme fear. It's lagging a day behind, but wow, 22. I've seen this. I think the lowest I've seen this is 11. Let's go to the RSI SPY. iCoinPro is the author of the 1-2-3 dip training that I send to everybody when they, those are on the emails for promoting this Zoom call. So hopefully you guys are familiar with the strategy. At the very bare minimum, you should know the 1-2-3 dip. And that's what I'm talking about when I say I'm looking for dip trades. It's a teaching of this company. I mean, it's out there anyway. It's not like they made it up, but it's one of their strongest strategies that they emphasize. Okay, I'm sorting by the 1-hour RSI, and when the value's 30 or below, these are oversold. Unfortunately, there's no way to exclude the BTC pairs, which I don't trade. This one here is pretty low volume. I'm looking for 10 million or more of 24-hour volume. Sometimes it's slightly over 30, and that might catch my attention. I've got this UMA 30.41. The volume's pretty good. So let's go ahead and check this one out. I think they were talking about this one on the CryptNation call, either Tuesday or Friday. Tuesday or Thursday. Yeah, it had a big pump on Tuesday. That's probably when they were talking about it. On the hour. Yeah, it's lost 30%. Could be due for a comeback. On the 5-minute, super squeeze. Yeah, not even 2%. So that's not a good entry. We did have a bounce off the bottom of the Bollinger Band earlier this afternoon for 3%. That's not bad. So that It's not much support. It's only 2 candles, but it did, did bounce off that area at 766. That could be a good price alert to set. Nothing real useful here in the indicators on the 5-minute. Let's go to the 15. Could look for a bullish divergence, use that alert, or the MFI or the RSI alerts I've talked about already, crossing above the 20, crossing above the 30. On the trend, on the 15, it's just been trending down, since this afternoon. So, might want to put your alert here for the buy, wait for that to build up some momentum and trigger that buy signal, if you want to trade this one. Any questions on UMA? I don't really see anything here on the anything else on the long side. So we'll short, see if we can find a short. Let's see, waves is a short, according to this. We just looked at waves. Not really seeing anything else on that sort. So the other tool I like to use is this Buddy coin crawler. I sort from average low to SMA, and the low is the 24-hour low. And the SMA line is that middle line between the Bollinger Bands you've seen on my charts. So I'm looking for 5% or higher. Those are usually the coins that are moving. This one here is really intriguing. Troy, this is an older project. I traded this maybe 2 years ago. I haven't seen this anywhere, and it just popped up 8.7% on this sort. So let's check it out. I was looking at it earlier. I wonder if it's still on my list. No. Okay. Fibs left over from 2 years ago. So a big pump the last couple days. That's where this is. Otherwise, it's I was looking on the weekly chart on this. Yeah, this had a big pump in September. It lost 86%, but it's gained quite a bit back. Nowhere near 80, but yeah, this big move here on the hour chart, trending down pretty hard since its high at around 10 a.m. I don't know about this one. It's almost in a dip sequence. I'd like to see a better bubble than that. Yeah, big spread though. So we don't really need a bubble if we have a 22% spread. So we're 1, 2, not quite a third dip yet. Bullish divergence on the 5-minute chart, not incredibly useful. Usually need a bigger time frame than that. Kind of low on the RSI. It's intriguing. Got some support. Man, it just broke through support. 8.2 or 0.8 tenths of a cent or whatever it is. Less than a penny. Secondary support, here we go. Before the big moves, right down here. Around 0.69 cents. I think that's where I would want to get in. Right about here, maybe 0.7 cents. Yeah. So I think that's where I would put my price alert. And then go over to the 15-minute for the other alerts. Got bullish divergence forming here right now, but it hasn't closed yet. So this could go away or repaint, as they say. Did bounce off the 20 value on the MFI, but it hasn't really done much since. RSI is working its way down to the 30. So, you know, indicator alert could be useful on the RSI, you know, trending above or moving above 30. And on our trend, well, just got hit with the sell. So add an alert for a buy. Oh, you know, maybe that dips a little bit and then the buy pressure comes back and you can catch that. So that's about all I have on Troy. Any questions on that? Okay. Then one more thing on iCoinPro that I like to look at is the forum. I've talked about this from time to time. Justin Clark, the founder, will usually put his thoughts about the market early in the morning. He's on the East Coast, so it's pretty early for me here on Mountain Time. But this can be useful to get a feel for what the markets are doing. And he also posts his buddy coins, which is their, you know, iCoinPro slang for the coins we're watching today. And he puts the 3 that he's watching. And puts alerts on. I do this as well on my scalping. I'll choose 3 coins. Since I'm leveraged, it's usually more volume based. And but the concept is the same. Those are the 3 I'm using on leverage and putting my alerts on. So this can be helpful as well. Well, that's about all I have for Altcoin Alert and iCoinPro. Do you have any questions on those or anything else in crypto? All right. Well, if that's the case, I'll go ahead and stop the recording here. For those of you who join me live, I appreciate it. Feel free to stick around. The carbon platform discussions coming up next. If you're watching on the recording, I appreciate that as well. Hopefully we'll see you on Friday live. Talk soon.